How many people here like stories? Great. Now let me rephrase that. How many people like to hear stories? See? It's a little different, isn't it? Because you want to be really is on this side. You want to tell the story. And then have everybody who likes to hear stories agree with you that you are a great storyteller. And when that happens, you bond. As you heard in my intro, I'm a Toastmaster. And I've been a Toastmaster since 2009 of June. Now what's great about that is that I, like many people, when I first entered my first meeting, I was scared out of my mind. Because for a minute there, I thought I was in the wrong place. Because everybody was really nice to me. They applauded at everything I said. And at the end of it, I was really willing to write the check. I was not sold anything. It was so simple. And from there on, it started an amazing journey. Now, since most of you here are really in sales, and you deal with people, that was really the component that made me figure out what to say today with regards to how does Toastmaster benefit you? What is in it for you if you were to go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to go visit a club tomorrow morning? The thing is that, number one, the link that we all have is human. We're all human. And therefore, we have a lot of common things that make us want to be together and make us want to do things together. The key is always trust, and you always hear about in sales, you want to kind of make sure you answer their questions and everything else that goes with closing the deal. But if you remember that you're talking to a human being on the other side of the table, in front of a group like this, or in front of a large audience, or even on the phone, then you realize that Toastmasters could really help you tremendously, because that's what we're all about, is people and telling our story so that we can connect with them. So today my goal is very, very simple, to share with you 7 elements of Toastmasters that really will boost your sales. 7 elements that will boost your sales. The first one is the obvious one. We're a group of people that love presentations. That's what this is today, a presentation. And what's really important about presentations? It's really how you deliver the message. You all said you like to hear stories. Well, why do you like hearing stories? It's because there's several elements there that bring you into that person. Some of them are the way I talk, the way I inflect my voice, louder, softer, the way I look at everybody in the audience. I want to connect with your eyes, right? They always say the eyes are the windows to the soul. See, everybody knows that. I haven't found a single person that doesn't. So we want to connect with you. How do I use my hands? How do I stand? What do I wear? These are the things that we teach in Toastmasters right from the get-go. Because every time somebody gives a presentation, unlike places like here where I'm just going to leave and you guys will all talk behind my back, in Toastmasters we actually talk in front of you. After that presenter is done, we actually talk and give you that feedback. There'll be an individual that'll come up and give a 2 to 3 minute presentation on just what you did. What you did really well, what connected with you, what things you might want to improve upon. That'll help you for your next presentation. And then, of course, more encouragement. Keep coming back. We want to hear more. We want you to continue that story. We want you to help you more to get successful when you go out there in the world beyond Toastmasters, that ugly world. That's what we do. So presentations is one of the things that we refine. We cut off the excess things that perhaps you brought along with you that you didn't know was disconnecting with your audience. In fact, maybe even deterring your audience from connecting with you. So these are the things that we help with presentations. The other thing that we have is leadership. Now, how many people here really want to be thought of as a leader in their community? Raise your hand, really be honest. See, just about everybody wants to be considered a leader. With Toastmasters, that's part of its infrastructure, is to help you through a parallel track, which we call the leadership track, that allows individuals to practice the things that leaders do. How to organize individuals, how to delegate roles, how to be persuasive but without overbearing to a person, right? We don't want to be salespeople. We want to be your friend. We want to build a relationship. I heard lots of you use that word. That's leadership. Leaders are relationship builders. They're not community breakers. They build relationships. So in Toastmasters, we have various roles during our meetings and during all of our other functions throughout the year that build leadership, true leadership skills. That was Ralph Smedley, Dr. Ralph Smedley, who was the founder of Toastmasters over 90 years ago, that created that system. He wanted people not just to be able to speak well, but to be great leaders in their community, to build something that can sustain itself. So that's another thing that we do. We do leadership building. Another component that we have that's really important is credibility. Now in your industry, is credibility really important? Absolutely. You're dealing with people's money, aren't you? This is very important. If you're going to be working with me, right, I want to make sure that you're credible. Well, because of Toastmasters' longevity, 90 years, over 240,000 Toastmasters around 23 different countries, in meetings here locally, people just like you with the same thought in mind, I want to get better. Now isn't that good credibility when you're saying, I don't know it all, I want to get better, I want to know how to communicate better with you, I want to be able to connect with you better, I want to learn the skills that I need so that I can do my job best that you've ever seen anybody else in my industry. And that takes a lot of humbleness, first and foremost, to know that. And then at the same time, it also takes a little bit of skill, because you got to practice that. Leadership is not just to add water and instantly you're a leader, right? It takes years of development. Well, in Toastmasters, that's part of your development. So we help you with that idea of building that credibility, where now you can say, oh, look at that. I just finished one of my tracks for Toastmasters. Toastmasters says, submit it. Oh, look at that. On the bottom of the form, when I submit it, it says, who would you like us to tell that you finished that track? Uh-oh. Well, I work for myself. I have my own business. So I said, well, I'm going to send it to my wife. So she got this beautiful letter crafted with eloquency all written on it, saying this individual went beyond the average person, beyond the average salesperson, and did everything they needed to do to achieve this award. And we're so proud of them here in Toastmasters, our organization. You should be proud of them too. There are individuals in our Toastmaster organization with each and every letter that they received with the awards that they accomplished and earned. They actually got promotions at the same time because they sent the letter not to their boss, to the VP of the company or the president of the company, to show them that they were constantly developing themselves. They were going above and beyond the average day. Did that pay off? Absolutely. It paid off tremendously. So part of our system is credibility. You now have an organization of leaders and communicators who are going to support you when it comes to the credibility of how effective you can be as a communicator or a leader for your organization. And that's documented proof. That's what's really nice. So again, think about that. Another one which is really important in the sales world is confidence. Think about that. Have you ever been in front of a salesperson who's not so confident about what they're saying? That's scary, isn't it? Because that individual, me as the consumer, is thinking, how long do we have to go through this before we can finally tell this guy no? And that's what's it. It's confidence. Think of it. Every week you have an opportunity to be standing in front of a room of your peers and speaking on whatever role or subject you have to do that particular day. You think your confidence is going to build more and more as you're doing it on a weekly basis? It is. Especially with one of our very, very fun areas that we have in our clubs, which is called table topics. It's impromptu speaking. Ever tried that? When somebody asks you a question out of the blue, you didn't know it was going to happen, and you're like, my brain's disconnected from my mouth. At Toastmasters, we learn how to dominate them. We learn how to dominate those butterflies. We say the butterflies are always here, but they fly in formation. That's what Toastmasters do. Really cool, huh? So that's what we try to do. We try to build your confidence with the table topic system that's every single week. Individuals will ask all types of questions, open-ended questions. There's no right or wrong answer, but your brain starts to get used to hearing your responses coming quicker and sharper. We've seen debates now with the recent government official elections coming on. They sometimes get asked some really tough stuff. You wonder how they sometimes sound like they know what they're talking about, and sometimes they're just on a script. We don't want to be just on a script. We want to be knowing what we're talking about. We want to know that we're customizing that answer to that individual. We're really paying attention. And that's how you do it. That's how you build that confidence. With our table topic system, it allows you to do that. So think about that when you're doing sales and you're presenting and you know that question is coming. How can you answer that question in a way that looks like you're a professional at it? Or how can you just simply say, I don't know the answer. I'm going to find out for you right away. And you have your eggs in a row so that you can get that answer really quick. This is what our confidence building system does. It makes you think really fast on your feet. How about organization skills? Is that important in your line of work? I would say yes, right? A lot of details, the dot, the dreaded dot and the cross on the T. These things have to be there. With Toastmasters, again, because our meetings are functioning meetings, they're live meetings every week, everyone always has a role, and when you get the chance to be the Toastmaster of the meeting, where you're the MC, you're the one running the show, you have to organize things, don't you? You have to make sure everybody's on target. What happens if something doesn't go as expected? How do you respond to that? These are things that you are working towards, and they teach you how to do that. So what happens is you start to learn how to organize yourself better. How about organizing a speech? Do you think that's easy? 5 to 7 minutes, 20 minutes? How do you organize it? We have mentors in a Toastmaster Club that can help each new individual build those skills, because we know you have the story. We know you have the content. We just want to help you to get it organized so that you don't spend 20 minutes on a 10-minute presentation. You ever had those, the meeting that never ends? We don't do that. In Toastmasters, when we say we start a meeting, it starts at that time, and when we say it ends at that time. So that means people can really, literally sync their clock to the times that we start and end our meetings, because we have it all organized, and we teach you how to use those skills beyond the club. So when you have your meetings, your presentations, you have agendas that stun people. You have presentations that are like, wow, you finished right on time. I have time for questions today. I have time I can ask her new things. This is amazing. The other guy, well, you know what I mean. You've seen those individuals. And that's what happens. In Toastmasters, we help you with those organization skills. How about sharper listening skills? You think it's important to listen at a presentation? That's what we do. Now, remember I told you, when you do a presentation, there's an individual that comes up for 2 to 3 minutes to talk about your presentation. Do you think they had to listen to your presentation, every detail, to make sure they understood what to write about and talk about during their time? How about if you're in a meeting and you're doing an evaluation of that individual? Each person is writing down points that they're going to hand you at the end of the meeting on your presentation. So if a group this big, I would get not only a 2 to 3 minute presentation from one person who had to listen really well, but I'm going to get 15 little slips of paper that tell me all the different things that connected or disconnected to that person that heard me speak. We all know we can't please everybody, but wouldn't it be nice if we fine-tune it even more, so literally that becomes a smaller and smaller percent of that person that wasn't satisfied with my presentation, but they really started to get it. In a persuasive argument, you find out that you know your audience better because you start realizing the things that you can start to control versus the things that you can't control, like the response. I can't control if you're not happy with my information, but at least I know how to respond to it too. So these are things that, as listeners, we now become better listeners. We focus on you and think about your sales. If they realize, the consumer realizes you're listening to them, you think they're going to be more excited to do business with you because you finally heard what they were trying to say? You finally understood what it was that they meant? We all shake our heads. That's it. And Toastmasters every week is sharpening those skills of those 2 ears so that we keep that ratio, right? 2 ears, 1 mouth. I listen twice as hard. That's what we do in Toastmasters. And finally, the biggest one that I also enjoy is the networking opportunities. Toastmasters, I said, is a very large organization. Just here in Guilford County, we have over 80 clubs. Imagine all those people getting together every week, and because we're constantly getting new faces, every week we're getting new people coming to visit, coming to say hello, coming to present, coming to join. But then beyond the club, we have our contests. Sometimes I say contests, and people are like, oh no, that wouldn't be me. That was one of me. If you guys had a chance to look at the link that was sent with regards to my contest that I did 2 years ago, I never in my life would have been betting on myself that I would do a humorous speech contest. I am not naturally a funny guy. But Toastmasters helped me to find that, quote, funny bone somewhere inside of me that allowed me to tap into the stories that I already had. Guess who I made fun of? Me and my dates with my wife. Because they're funny. If you think about the dates that you've had, you realize they're really funny, and people laugh at those things. And that's what people do. They're just telling about themselves and the funny things as humans that we've done, and we connect with people. But during those contests, they're done with larger groups. Other clubs come in, and other folks from out of town, and we're pretty sure we got this conference going on. We have a conference going on this month, October 31st, right here in Greensboro, at the Embassy Suites for the weekend. There's going to be over 200 Toastmasters. Now think about this really quick. 200 individuals that all want to be better. They're all focused on self-development, better communication skills, and leadership. Would you want to hook up with people like that? Would you want to exchange business cards with people like that? Want to meet them for your community benefits, your functions, your community advocacy that you do in town? Absolutely. These are the volunteers we're all waiting for to be part of our group. And that's what Toastmasters does. It opens that door. Now, if you go to some of the international conferences, we just had one in Malaysia. That was really fantastic. Next one's in Vegas. That's a big switch. But we're going to Vegas next year, and that'll be over 2,000 plus Toastmasters that show up at these events. All of them from all over the world, people with all the same wants like you do, the stories that you have, but you get to network with them. So think about all the networking you do, and now add this one, a place where there's true leadership and true communications. So in conclusion, think about these 7 points. We have presentation skills. They're going to be better enhanced. You're going to have leadership skills that you can develop and take on to your community, to your business, to anything that you do in sales. You're going to have credibility, standing with these beautiful documents and things that you're going to be doing outside of Toastmasters. Confidence. When you present to those individuals, that one person or several people or that family, they're going to feel like, yes, I got an expert here. I got an expert. Now let's see if I can afford him or something like that. But you understand that point. It's like they know where the value is. Your organization skills, they're going to be enhanced. What would an extra minute of your life start to add up consecutively over a year look like? Because that's the skills that you get. I weighed them out. It's an extra minute you start learning how to save in Toastmasters. Go that out for the year, 365 extra minutes as you're going to learn how to manage better. That's what Toastmasters does. Then, of course, you got the sharper listening skills. You'll be able to hear everything that everybody's saying, finally. Make comments on things. You'll see their gestures even more than you ever did. And you'll be able to do something amazing, which is count how many times they say, It scares everybody, trust me, in Toastmasters. And then the networking opportunities. You have an opportunity to network with people just like you who are trying to build themselves, build their confidence, build their strengths. They're leaders already, or they're building themselves to be leaders, and you're in the forefront with them. And all their job is to apply